Hello again everyone. So in the last video, I asked you guys if there were any questions you had or topics you wanted me to talk about in the next post-commentary vid. And oh my god, that's a lot of comments. I feel bad if I asked you guys and then didn't respond. So just this once, okay? I'll respond to everything. So we're just gonna speed run through these questions while the video plays in the background. So here we go. I'll put a comment on the top of the video and my response at the bottom because I couldn't figure out where else to put it. Lol. This one's not a question, I just like the profile picture. Hi Polypuff, how are you? Life could be worse. How much does your living in Korea cost? I think around like 1k a month, give or take. Is Halloween celebrated in Korea? I know how in America you go like trick-or-treating, right, in your neighborhood and you get candy, but in Korea, since everyone basically lives in an apartment, like there's no houses to trick-or-treat at, usually there's like separate Halloween events / parties in Seoul, for example, as far as I know. What's your favorite emote? It's probably the Rammus emote because in English, he goes like okay, but then in Korean, he goes like Are you real? No. What champions do you have the most mastery with besides Bard? Right now, probably Lux, but a few years ago, I used to play things like Thresh, Blitzcrank, and Lee Sin a lot. What ADC do you like getting paired with Bard the most and why? I like Caitlyn when I'm inside the lane more, since at level 6 you can do a Bard ultimate into a Caitlyn trap combo pretty easily, and Ezreal on games where I roam more since they can usually stay alive by themselves longer while I'm gone. What's the best way to learn macro in LoL? I'll be honest, I think most players up until maybe Emerald or even Diamond shouldn't even focus on macro until they can control the champion they're playing to a sufficient level. In the end, macro is all about knowing what advantages you can take around the map, which usually comes from experience over time. But you also don't want to disillusion yourself by trying to learn too many things at once, so focus on yourself first before you worry about others. How does an absolute noob who's just starting out have fun in the game as a casual? You just have to figure out what's fun for you. At the end of the day, League is just a game for most people, so don't stress too much about it and just play whatever you want until you find something you like. What do you think of Vanguard being implemented into LoL soon? I'm not gonna lie, as long as it doesn't just like crash my game when I'm playing, I don't really care that much. What kind of YouTube videos do you think Bard watches? I feel like Bard's the kind of guy that will watch cooking videos at night, no? Completely unrelated to League, but what's your favorite movie? What kind of movies do you like in general? My favorite movie is probably Interstellar, but I like watching basically every genre except for maybe horror movies. Not because I don't like horror, but I just don't like the idea of jump scares. I prefer the movies that instill some kind of like sense of dread over time than a random cheap burst of surprise that jump scares do. How do you feel about League support? Hey, if it wins you the game, then everything's good, what can I say? Tits or ass? You know, I prefer the clavicle actually. How do you feel about starting with a pink ward, and how do you feel about the increased vision score now? Unless you know that your pink ward is not going to be immediately broken in the next like 2 minutes, you probably shouldn't go it. And I literally never looked at vision score in my life, because you should be warding to get information, not to pad a random stat. That's probably not going to matter in the end. AD support Bard when? You can't spell Bard without AD. Oh. Is Bard the strongest champion in lore, gameplay, IRL, etc.? I don't know about strongest, but he's the most good looking. What build would you say to go for ARAM Bard? If you're playing ARAM and you don't go Glass Cannon full AP Bard, you're playing the game wrong. Is there a variation if the enemy is full AP from the last video? Because Zanya's and Frozen in full AP seems kinda troll, no? Well, number one, if your enemy's going full AP, then they're the ones trolling, if anything. And number two, yeah, you can just replace Frozen Heart with like Koenig Raccoon or something. Just because I say look both ways before you cross the street doesn't mean you have to do it in a one-way street, you know? Like just build whatever, bro. What is the craziest build you had the most success with? This was a super long time ago, but I think I remember in ARAM once, I forgot to buy items and I just left the base. But then I never died, so I ended the game without a single item the entire time. Have you ever played professional League like in the LCS or LCK or considered it? Why or why not? I think right now especially, I have an interest in way too many things outside of League, so I know that if I ever did somehow become a professional, then I wouldn't have time to do the other things I want to. And also because I just don't think I'm good enough to be a pro. How do I start streaming? Like equipment, mindset, and how do you come up with content ideas? So if you want to start streaming, all you really need is a good enough computer to run OBS, but I highly recommend to make YouTube or TikTok videos first instead of just streaming right away, since it's almost impossible to grow organically just from your streams due to how discoverability works. Just treat it like a hobby and try to make the content that you enjoy making or want to watch yourself, and over time the channel will slowly grow. I made videos for like 5 to 6 years for fun until I even considered doing it for a job. You just have to know that you might not find success right away and you have to trust the process sometimes. What will you do once you find Faker? Does it count if Faker's on the enemy team? And is there another streaming platform in Korea that you think will fill the void left by Twitch? After I find Faker, it'll probably take me like a week or two to make the actual video. But afterwards, I'll probably just order some nice food or something and then I can start the next challenge. The grind never ends, unfortunately for me. The challenge right now is to just get into the game with Faker, so it still counts if I see him on my team, the enemy team, or even in an ARAM game. So anything goes. And for your final question, right now, I believe that most Korean streamers will be moving to Africa to stream, or they're going to be moving to this new platform by Naver that came out recently called Chichiji. Since my audience is mostly Western viewers though, I'll be streaming on YouTube. What I do when my support picks AD Twitch and stays in the jungle? If they're getting kills for their team, then just stay alive and soak up BXP. If they're trolling though, then just stay alive and soak up BXP. What does Brad and Bard do? Brad works a 9 to 5 and Bard works a 5 to 9. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, do you believe it will make a sound or not? I'd be more concerned with how my Ivan jungle would die with nobody around, but I do believe they will make some kind of noise, yes. Given Brass is a versatile champion in terms of build choice, what do you think the worst Bard rune / build is? Probably Spellbook with Zanya start. You know what I mean? Who is your favorite ever viewer? I don't remember their username, but sometimes people ask me questions during my stream like, are you Korean or do you speak Korean? But there was this one dude that asked me, why are you Korean? And dude, that has stuck with me for years. Why do Bard and the yeah and like the yeah, you know? Also, how long did you play League, and do you play any single player games? I started playing League around the end of Season 2, and I think the most recent single player game I played was Fire Emblem Engage for the Switch. When is the Bard anime coming? February 30th. Are you able to duel with Faker? Dude, I would love to, but I don't think it's up to me, unfortunately. Why are you Korean? No! Bard, Brad, Bard, Brad, Brad. Do you listen to K-pop? How do you feel about Korean culture becoming as widespread as it is? Is Korea's romanticization online too promising compared to the reality? I do listen to whatever K-pop songs show up in my feed, but I don't like go out of my way to listen to everything. I think culture in general spreading to other countries is a good thing since it lets people from different backgrounds understand each other better. And honestly, everything on the internet is always romanticized anyway, so take everything with a grain of salt. Why do you play support role almost always? What do you think about other roles? I still play jungle every now and then since I used to be a jungle main before a support main. And I like playing ADC a lot, but the supports I get tend to be pretty bad, which is why I took over the support role. What other champion would serve as the best pet for Bard? I'm not sure about champions, but I would love to have a chonk just running around with Bard. How long do you think it will take you to find Faker, and will you do more challenges afterwards? Ideally, I finish the challenge before Twitch career goes down a month, but worst case scenario, I'm expecting at most until the end of 2024. I don't currently know what the next challenge is going to be, but I'll probably do more when I think of one. What's your best warding tips for support players? Also a bonus question, how can I convince my friend to buy pink wards? He claims 75 gold is too much. Whenever you go for a ward, you just want to ask yourself what information you want to get, and if that info will directly help you or your team. If not, then it can probably be placed somewhere else. And I'll be honest, buying too many pink wards can definitely stunt you from finishing your items, especially on the new map with too many spots to ward. So you should really only buy one to secure objectives or something, and get a scanner early instead. Favorite type of cookies? Dude, the cookies they sell at Subway are some good stuff, at least in Korea. Next time, can you talk about what is your passion for this game? I like how cheese strats that work against like bronze players also work against challengers. Do you think Brad Top is viable? I'm of the idea that if you win the game, then everything is viable. Who do you play when Bardo is banned or when it's just a really horrible matchup? And do you still go Zanyas when the enemy is mostly AP? If not, which items do you go? Bard doesn't really have any bad matchups, to be honest, and if he gets banned, then I usually go something like Lux or Senna. Best breakfast? Dude, some bacon eggs right now sounds really good actually. What's the actual goal of a level 1 invade? Honestly, like 90% of the time, people just want that early dopamine coin flip, nobody actually knows what they're doing. What's a project you'd love to work on if time wasn't an issue? I would honestly love to work on some kind of animation if I had time. If you could create a champion, what would they do? Instead of creating a champion, can I delete Yumi from the game? Please? Like, that guy gotta go. If you could take a 10-day vacation to any area in the world, where would you go and why? I'm actually coincidentally going to Japan for like 10 days in March, because I really need to take a vacation, man. I haven't been to one in like 10 years, so this is going to be a good break for me. Polypuff. Why is Venom from Marvel called Venom if they aren't venomous or poisonous or have anything to do with Venom? Oh, I actually know the answer for this. Okay, so basically, when should you roam? You basically just want to roam when you know your ADC is not going to die when you're gone. Are Lockett or Shurias any good? I'm not sure if they changed anything in the hotfix patches, but dude, Shurias felt super bad at the start of the season. Poly, what is Bard's workout routine? 21 donuts. Top 3 favorite Brad skins. Snow Day Bard. Have you had an obsession with champs previous to Bard's release? I used to like playing the old Boulder Bear a lot, but then they got rid of this little bear flip, now it's very sad. Why are you trying to find Faker?
Everything for the content.
What keeps you playing League of Legends?
Memes.
What do you think is an optimal one-shot Bard build? If you want to get one-shot, then I recommend not going any items. What's your favorite food? Sushi. What got you into streaming? Was it just League, other streamers, or just decided to do it anyway? I think some people just asked if I streamed, and then one day I was like, okay, might as well stream. What is your favorite color? Answer in Bard noises. Hi Polly, can you kiss me please? Say yes. My question for you is, which of your videos are you the most proud of is your favorite? It's probably the bar in the backwards video. That was pretty fun to make. How do you maximize pro length, especially coming from spawn and retreating to your tower from alcove? It never seems to line up correctly for me, or I need to take a hot minute to ensure I have it lined up. Well, you know what they say, longer isn't always better. What season would you say was the best for Bard in terms of itemization, meta, etc.? Probably right now actually, like Bard's really OP. Hi Mr. Polypuff, what is your favorite knowledge skin? Snow Day Bard. How do you develop better itemization knowledge? Honestly, as long as your playstyle maximizes the potential of the items you buy, then that's really all you need. Like for example, even though Zion's is a really expensive item, it lets me get away with a lot of int looking plays because it might bait the enemy to overextend aiming for a kill, which puts our team in a better spot. So it's not really about knowing which items are the best overall, but just knowing which items are best for you, especially when you consider things like your playstyle and how you move around the map. What do you think of Hui support or Hui ADC? Been having a lot of fun on both. Do you know the way? Favorite mobile games and why? I don't ever play mobile games in general, so I can't really say. What are your thoughts on Zillion? Have you played him much? I don't really play him, so I can't really say. Question, are they eyes or nostrils? If you're talking about Bard's little hole thingies, then why not both? How would you recommend learning jungle, especially as a new player? First, you just want to learn how to full clear, which means just like taking all the camps in order. And then you pretty much just want to learn how to counter jungle by just running into the enemy jungle and figuring out when you die. What is the change that you wish to see in League? Removing adding items, etc., changing champion stats to maps or anything else? Please remove Yumi from the game. Please. How much of your weakest League of Legends? You seem like you struck somewhat of a balance, so I wanted to ask what that looked like. So I don't actually play that much League compared to what people think. Like for example, it's been around 2 weeks since the season started for season 14, and I played a total of 13 games, which means that I pretty much played 1 game a day on average, which is definitely lower than most other League content creators. Because I spend most of my time just editing videos or doing other life stuff. I'm also doing like art related things, just like learning how to draw and some secret projects that I have lined up. But yeah, I try not to grind League, because I feel like the moment you start grinding League, you're gonna have less fun with it, since you're pretty much just no-braining, running it down. How do you stay so positive? You brighten up my days with every video. I don't think I'm that positive, honestly. Like, I just kind of gas at myself sometimes that, you know, like no matter what happens, after the stream ends, after I finish this game, I'm just gonna go back and just chill. Maybe watch some videos, you know, like draw some stuff, and then just have a good time, so no reason to get too stressed about this in the end.